Hello everybody, Tony here and welcome to the next episode of TTBurger Game Reviews. Today I want to talk about the vehicular combat genre. Now the vehicular combat genre has been around pretty much the days of the 90s and stuff. Those of you who probably played the vehicular combat genre know of this game, Twisted Metal. Car combat at its best and stuff, and it was very popular and it popularized the car combat genre and made it into what it is today. However, a lot of people believe that this was the first vehicular, that game was the first vehicular combat genre game ever made. Unfortunately, that's not the case at all. There was a game that came out before that. Now I'm not sure if it's the first one that was ever made, but I have a vehicular combat genre that came out before Twisted Metal, and it was made by Namco, people who made Tekken and Soul Calibur and Ridge Racer, Time Crisis, and Starblade and stuff like that. My favorite video game coming back then. And I'm gonna be looking at that said game right now, and it's Cyber Sled on the PlayStation 1, released in 1995, which is also a port of the arcade game known as Cyber Sled. Now, like, being a big fan of Namco back then, with the days of the PlayStation, I had to get this game. I had to get a lot of games done by Namco. There were a couple exceptions that games I won't buy, like games like Point Blank, because like, while they look interesting, they're just a bunch of mini games here and there, so that'll be a series I will not get. And of course the Xenosaga games, because the voice setting's not in Japanese, but that's kind of topic though. But basically, like, this is what we see here, and like, I should warn you that like due to YouTube's copyright claims, the music you will not be hearing the music in the background from the game, because I have heard from certain reviewers that the music in this game has been copyrighted, and I don't want to get a copyright claim. And we have a total of 6 characters to choose from. There's 5 more that you can unlock when you enter a code at the main menu, but if you want to know the code, you got the internet to provide it for you, and I will be playing as all 6 original characters, so I don't want to spoil the unlockable characters, but we have, and after we get started here, we pick our character, and this is where it goes from here. It's basically one-on-one vehicular combat, and these are the vehicles. These are the sleds, which are more like tanks. I mean, when I first heard about Cyber Sled, I thought it was gonna be like a sled racing game or something like that, but boy, oh boy, was I wrong, and I'm glad I was wrong, because I don't know how a sled racing game would have turned out to be, but this is actually cool here. You pretty much just do this, you fight in 11 matches, and that's basically what you do. And this game, for the most part, is great, but I do have some complaints with it, which I'll get to later. But now let's talk about the story here, and surprisingly, this game actually has a storyline, because it's a vehicular combat game like such. I mean, I know Twisted Metal had one, but the story I'm just surprised there actually is a story for this. Is the thing is all and stuff, and the story is pretty much nothing special. It takes place in the year 2067, which where, according to the manual here, huge cities have been built with stretch of progress and decay, and the violent vehicular combat fighting game grows popular and stuff like that, and it basically like this tank duel combat is pretty much excites the audience and stuff like that, and it's basically the goal. They have a goal to win the tournaments. Like the opponent, like the players have the goal to win the tournament stuff, and that's basically the story. Forgive me for my bland description here, but that's pretty much all the manual says, and it's not really the most descriptive story ever, but it's just basically these players are here to win the Cyber Sled tournament, and that's basically what it is and stuff, and that's just basically what it is. So that's pretty much no need to explain the story anymore. So there we go. Now for the graphics here. The graphics here are interesting. This game does something similar to what Starblade Alpha does. You have 2 graphic modes to choose from. You got original and real. And as you see here, which one is the original, which one's real. Of course, the real one has more detail, which is the one on the right, and the one on the left is the original, what the original arcade graphics look like. And you're probably wondering, what do I think about the graphics? Well, for a game released in 1995, they look great. Sure, everything is all polygon and stuff like that and such, and like 3D, but you gotta remember, this was the 90s and stuff. The 90s were like this. So this was the early mid-90s PlayStation arcade game. So it was going to be like this no matter what. But graphics aren't the most important thing though, so that shouldn't matter at all. For sound, I have to say that the sound here is awesome. I used to not like the music when I first got this game, but I've grown to like the music, and like I said, I can't show you any of the music because of copyright claims, but there's soundtracks out there on the internet and stuff. But what we get for the soundtrack is basically similar to Ridge Racer's soundtrack, which I know I haven't really talked about Ridge Racer yet, but I'll talk about it soon. But those of you who played Ridge Racer and heard that soundtrack, you'll see the similarities here. And the soundtrack here is basically a bunch of techno tracks like that. I don't know how many techno tracks there are, but a lot of them are very cool. They sound really good. They're upbeat, energetic, and stuff like that. They put you in the mood of the game and stuff like that. And I admit that they work well. There's not really much voice acting here. It's just basically the announcer announcing the opponents and stuff, and that's basically what it is. And there's not much to say about the sound except for like the machine gun and the missile sound effects and stuff. But then again, if we were to talk about those, we'd be here all day. And this is a review. We gotta talk as much as we can, but not too much and stuff. But for the gameplay here, like I mentioned, it's basic one-on-one vehicular combat. You fight one opponent, and if you win, you move on to the next round, and you do this for 11 rounds and stuff. I will admit, however, there are a couple complaints I have here. First off, no matter what character you pick, whether it's Madsen Hawk or Amanda Bates or Hans Baird or something like that, or Rector Ironside or whatever, you will fight the opponents in the same order. Like, unless you're Amanda Bates, the other opponents will fight Amanda Bates first and stuff like that and such. And I'm not trying to nitpick here, but it would have been nice if they mixed up the order that you fight the opponents in, because like I just wish they would have done that, because like it is just a little bit annoying how that you always fight them in the same order and stuff. And another complaint I have about this, which I know that I'm all for a challenge like that, but you only have one life and that's it. And when you die, you go all the way back to the beginning. But thankfully, the game is very easy to get used to and stuff like that. So it's not a huge complaint, but it would have been nice to have some extra lives and stuff. I mean, it would have been nice because like one hit and you're dead and stuff. But however, it's nothing near as bad as like that crappy Bombing X here on the Xbox 360, which came out like years after this, which is a bad comparison, I know, but still. I mean, like, this game is very easy to get back into and stuff. But, yeah, aside from that, there really isn't much else to say. I mean, like, it's basically a simple vehicular combat game that pretty much did the vehicular combat genre for the most part, like, on the PlayStation and stuff like that. Now, like I said, I may be wrong here. I may be wrong here about this being the first vehicular combat game, but if I'm wrong, I apologize there. I mean, there is a lot to do. I mean, like, you got the 2 graphic settings, you got the unlockable characters you can use and stuff like that, and this may look like it's boring, but it's actually fun aside from the 2 things that I talked about. So definitely pick this game up if you're a Namco veteran and a PlayStation veteran, because this game is definitely a must-buy, especially since it comes in the long box too, and it's the only case it comes in as well. So kudos to Namco because they did a great job here with this game. So my final rating goes like this: pick this game up. Cyber Sled is awesome. It's one of the best launch titles for the PlayStation 1, and it definitely deserves a look and stuff. Due to the complaints I have, like with the order, like the opponents fighting the opponents in the same order, and like only one life and you die, so go back to the beginning, I will be giving it a 9 out of 10. It's a great game, definitely pick it up. That's all I gotta say. Stay tuned, there's a lot more on the way. Peace out, everybody.